What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing Channel, your source for all your boxing needs. And just announced Jake Paul versus the big dog, Gervonta Tank Davis. Unbelievable news that it was announced. Like we were talking about earlier, was this a troll? But apparently it might happen, man. What are you for an exhibition match? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts, man?
I don't know, man. Um, I mean, it sounds like it's official. Netflix announced it. Jake Paul's Instagram. Oh, I mean, I guess that's Jake Paul. So he announced it himself. So it seems like that's the fight that we're getting. Obviously, it's an exhibition fight because there's almost 100 pounds difference. But Jake Paul, I saw that interview once. He said it's only an exhibition because it's not going to be sanctioned by a actual boxing commission because of the weight difference. But other than that, they're all pro boxing rules. 3 minute rounds. I think it's 10 rounds. And obviously, if you get hit, you can go down. You know what I mean? Like it's still you're still getting punched in the head. So I guess we still get an actual real fight, just not sanctioned. So it doesn't matter. Like there's no winners or losers. Um, I don't know, man. It's just you know, it's hard to say because Jake Paul, he's been he's been consistent with boxing, but he hasn't been consistent with who he's fighting. He's been fighting MMA, retired boxers, active boxers that are mid level, and then now obviously Tank Davis. Obviously, this is going to generate a lot of money. It's still going to be live on Netflix. I'm not mad at Jake Paul, not at all. This is quote unquote low risk. He's gonna get hit by a guy that's significantly smaller, although Tank is a power puncher. But at the end of the day, he will be significantly smaller, and he's gonna get a lot of money. So I can't hate on Jake Paul. However, I kind of question Tank. He said in a post fight conference against Roach, he said that he wasn't gonna. He will have the rematch. However, that wasn't gonna be next. I guess he was talking about this. So talk about fighting Jake Paul regardless, win or lose, right? I'm kind of disappointed. Obviously this fight will generate a lot of money for Tank. However, there's unfinished business. You know, it's hard to get a draw and not fight the guy right away, or at least get a quote unquote tune-up fight. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know I'm gonna watch it regardless. However, it's gonna be it's a show for all the people, man. But what do you think?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, Jake Paul always says, people are saying I've never fought a real boxer. Hey, congratulations. He's finally fighting a
Real
real
as it can
boxer.
get. Real as
Yeah,
it can get.
exactly, right? So he's number one. He's proving people wrong. But at the same time, it's like, bruv, he walks around, what, 200, 220.
No, he walks around probably at, at least 220, bro.
Around there, and he's fighting Davis, who typically fights at what, 135 in that ballpark. That's a
Yeah.
70-pound difference. Bro, I don't know about you, man, but if I were to be punched by like a 300-pound guy, and we call it light sparring, I'm gonna think he's going like 80%. But in reality, he's going probably like 10,
And
right?
that's
So the
sparring.
yeah, and that's sparring. So like the size difference alone is like it's kind of crazy. Now on the other hand, if this and I yeah, this fight will definitely generate numbers, right? And if it does like huge numbers, just imagine the kind of exhibition fights that will happen moving forward,
Yeah.
whether it be with Jake Paul or any other of the other boxers. Bro, it's just gonna be like, I feel like it's gonna be a gate, and the floodgates are just everything just going through it, and this might just be the future of boxing. It sounds so
Ah,
bad to say, but this might be it, man. It might be like WWE. What do you
it
think?
it's I think you're right, man. Like it's accurate, although it's scary. Like us boxing fans, we want to see Tank against Shakur. We want to see Tank against hell Zepeda. Tank against Haney, Tank against pretty much anyone around that weight class. But I hate to say this, Tank versus Jake Paul is probably going to make more money than Tank versus Shakur. They're both the champions in the weight class. It doesn't matter. Tank versus Jake Paul will generate more money and get a lot of views just because of Jake Paul's following. Point blank. It's obviously, in my opinion, I think it's the size difference is gonna be too much. Tank and obviously everyone can get knocked out, but at the end of the day, a jab from Jake Paul it's gonna be a little too heavy for Tank. I'm not saying Tank will lose, but it I don't know. I don't know what to say other than I'm just gonna watch it, man. But I really hope that's just a one-time thing. After this, he goes back to Roach, get that rematch in. But hey, I guess we're gonna get those two guys in November, man.
Honestly, I wish it would have been like Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul
Might
instead.
as well.
Yeah,
That
exactly. At this
that was the
point,
plan. That was the
yeah.
plan. I don't
See,
know what
that fight
happened.
makes sense, but this one is just like, what?
Like if around the same way, like hell, we were. It's crazy. We were talking about Crawford moving up two weight classes, and we're like, oh, that's too heavy. You know what I mean? Like Canelo too heavy. Now we're talking about I can't even count the weight classes.
Yeah.
That's like Tank moving up. No, no, yeah, that's crazy. That's like Crawford moving up to heavyweight. Fight Usyk, although Usyk's not Jake Paul is no Usyk, but that's just the difference in weight class. And you know, I don't know what the stipulation is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to like the Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather fight. Paul probably going to be weighing in at 190, 195. Gervonta probably can't weigh more than 150, 160, although that would be a problem. I think it's going to be around that. But, like I said, I'll watch it. And then after this, yeah, I'm ready to see Tank back with Roach, Tank with Shakur. I'm ready to see, hell, depending on the fight, I'm ready to see Jake Paul get in there with the actual fighters in his weight class and cruiserweight, maybe heavyweight, but we can't complain. We're gonna get Tank's getting a fight live on Netflix. I have Netflix, so it'll be free. So I guess we'll watch and see. Hopefully they get a good undercard though. That's for sure.
Yeah, that has to be a plus. And
Yeah,
you know what I was thinking as well? I think that Jake Paul is playing chess here. And why and how I say that is number one, obviously he's trying to build up the boxing fan database through Netflix by having a
yeah.
huge card like this to build up for something even bigger afterwards.
I
Right? He
hope.
very well could still be fighting Anthony Joshua, but maybe
Yeah,
the numbers didn't make sense for Joshua. Kind of crazy to say, but like maybe this is just a stepping stone into something even bigger. So who knows, man? I'll still watch regardless because this guy is Jake Paul is just doing some crazy stuff, and the
hell,
fact that Tank is doing side quest, crazy to me.
eh,
You know,
an active fighter doing side quests.
that's
That's
weird.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, might as well. Jake Paul. You know what? I hate to pitch this, but what fight will generate more than that fight? Canelo versus Jake Paul. I think that now that
Yeah,
Tech versus Jake Paul is possible, obviously Canelo versus Jake Paul is even way closer, and I think that fight will break the internet. That might be more than the Manny Pacquiao, but obviously it's probably going to be live on Netflix. But that fight will probably break Netflix and break the internet. That's all I can
dude,
say.
that very well could be the plan, man. But we're gonna have to let time
Yeah.
do its game here. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below, man. Do you think this is a clown show? Do you think this is horrible? Do you think this is a disrespect to boxing? If I was in Roach's shoes, I'd be like, hell yeah. But you let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we're the opposite of in.